once again we are back with more crosscraft. Today we'll be playing this heal sword hybrid. It's just heal Havencraft with some useful sword cards in it. It's not something super imaginative. This is probably the most functional deck I've done so far in crosscraft. So let's go through the list. So for the Haven cards, it's just pretty standard heal Haven stuff, so I won't go into detail on that too much. The main point is of course the sword cards. First we have a Lieutenant's Report. At worst it's an insight, but since we do play quite a few amulets, it is often 1 PP to draw 2 and heal 2, which is very valuable because 1 PP heal is very valuable in general in this deck. And it draws more cards in the early game. It helps you survive the early game by healing you, and it's only 1 PP, so it's very efficient. So yeah, that's this card. That's why I ran it. I would say this is pretty fixed. The other one is of course Tears of Tribulation. This card is basically the entire idea for the deck. It's the reason why this deck exists in crosscraft. You can do this fun combo where you give your leader to the effect to heal 1 when your officer comes in play. So after your elluvia is active, this is 2 PP to summon 2 wards and then buff your whole board twice, which is very strong. And if you you can stack multiple of these effects in 1 turn, so you can, and it heals once at each time when you stack this effect multiple times, so you can heal like really ridiculous amounts. You can buff a lot if you, if you get 2 of these in 1 turn, but even at 1 it's pretty it's pretty efficient for summoning a board and then clearing it. And then buffing it at the same time. So yeah, that's why we run this card. And then the last sword card we run here is Dashing Duelist. So Dashing Duelist is very useful for a variety of things in this deck. First of all, it's an officer, so it has like the base synergy Tribulations. If you want, you can play this after Tribulations to get another officer proc. In crosscraft especially, the way this card works is that it counts both your opponent's classes. So if either their main or subclass is Dragon, Shadow, Haven, or Portal, it gains ambush, so you can treat it as another ambush follower, and that's basically the main goal of me running it in this deck. It's basically another ambush follower, and we know how disgusting heal with ambush is, so yeah, this can treat as another ambush follower. In some rare matchups it's a ward, but even the ward is not that bad because you can buff it up. And his evolve effect is pretty solid as well. Doing AoE to do damage to all enemies. It can get you through wards after you're done buffing your board. Like you can put this guy with ambush on board and then buff him out, and next thing you evolve him and deal deal damage to all the opponent's board. The rally 20 basically doesn't happen, so you can ignore that. And then, of course, Fanfare Draw a card is also very solid. It just cycles through your deck to help you find your elluvia or your Aether. And finally, Rally 10 recover 1 evolution point. This deck has no evil point recovery, so if it gets to the late game, you might be a bit in trouble just because you don't have any evil points to work with. So, at that point, this card can also get you some evil points back, which does really help, especially when you want to play this in the late game. You can just evolve itself, and it will always have the evil point for you to do that. So yeah, that's the reason why I run these cards. If you don't like Dashing Duelist, you can run the Despotic Pawnmaker over him. Pawnmaker of course has very obvious synergies. At first I ran a Pawnmaker, but then I replaced it with Duelist because I prefer the Duelist. Pawnmaker has obvious synergy with the Tears of Tribulation, which is the point of it. And summon out a bunch of it's 2 PP to summon 4 bodies, and then if you have Tribulations in play, it heals 3, but even without that, it's 2 PP for 4 bodies, which makes the rest of your heal and buff cards very efficient, since they're all AoE buffs, so you can get a lot of bodies out for just 2 PP and spend the rest of your PP buffing up the board. I would not recommend replacing this slot with anything that costs 3 or more PP, just because it makes your John harder to activate. As you know, on turn 7 you recover 4 play points, and a lot of these followers cost 2 play points. So generally you want your most followers to cost 2, so you can play John plus 2 of the 2 play point followers to activate it more easily. You run something too expensive, you might run the risk of not being able to activate John, and that can lose you games. So yeah, oops, sorry, didn't mean to close that. So that is this list. Let's jump into some games. So our first game will be against Dragon Blood, and we're going first. For the first few games, I'll show off the Despotic Pawn Maker list, and so you can get an idea of how both of these work. For the Mulligan, I like keeping the Fountain of Tranquility, Orchid's Examination Hall, Lane Crest, and Verdelia. And then, if you're going first, you prioritize Aether, and then Kira, and then elluvia. And if you're going second, you prioritize Kira, elluvia, then Aether. So in this case, I'm going first. I don't really recommend keeping Lieutenant's Report, even though it does draw in the early game. I think I'd rather throw it away for a chance to draw better cards to find your pieces. Going first, you don't really like to draw elluvia. Going second, it's much better because, I mean, even if you draw elluvia now, you can't evolve your turn 4 anyway, so there's no point, right? So I prefer elluvia on going second and Aether going first. You can see my opponent's just playing some buff cards. I don't really know what they're doing, to be honest. As usual for Heal Haven, we just play it safe. You can generally, a lot of people like to play commandments on the turn before their elluvia turn, just to set it out on the board to get more buff efficiency. You can do it if either you know your opponent can't clear it, or if you have another one in hand already, because generally you want to save these for your actual lethal turns. I mean your turn 6, right? We all know how strong Heal Haven is when it just puts 2 commandments on board and then kills you next turn with it. Here my hand's pretty full, so I don't mind just burning the Orchid here. I decided not to trade into the Lian and Alfie just to make this war as big as possible. So now they have to deal with these 2 threats instead of just one. I'm not sure if that's the correct play, but that's what I ended up doing, so yeah. So I can draw another card off his Orchid's Exam Hall here. And then of course classic Heal Haven style, especially since they're playing Dragon main, they're very unlikely to have a way to clear this board unless they have something like Drazael in hand. So here's the Tribulations here, very efficient 2 PP, heal 2, and put a bunch of wards as well just to give a threat to your opponent. Of course the downside being that it plays body, so if your opponent has something like Opulent, they can use it to clear these, but my opponent doesn't play Opulent because they don't have swords, so yeah. These swords will just serve to hinder them from hitting my face, while these 2 sit in the board and just prepare to kill them next turn. So yeah, I can just go ahead and finish them off with Jan. And then of course, because Lian and Alfie is here on board, still I can just trade my Lu into it and then play another Lu to activate the Jan. And that's Omega Lethal, so yeah, it's pretty standard way of how this deck works, and I'll see you in the next game. So once again, we have another game with the Pawn Maker version. This one will be against Rune and Portal, and I believe we're going second. So yeah, as usual, we just keep Verdelia, keep Lane Crest, try to find our elluvia early game, or Aether also works. Found is great to play early just because you need the card draw and the healing will come in handy as well. Yeah, it's better than drawing on something like turn 3 or 4 where you don't have enough evils to pop it quickly, but at the same time you have to deal with it. So they're playing some kind of dirt deck here. I'm prioritizing keeping myself healthy since I found Aether already. If I didn't draw Aether, then I might have considered going Orchids instead of Mums. But yeah, since I already have Aether, it's better to just prioritize surviving over killing them. And you can go ahead and just put down Link Clashes to draw more cards, and then just nothing to do else. Nothing else to do, so you're just gonna just pass here. They play out the regular Celestial Command here, but luckily my mom sniped it, so I can just stall this turn as well. Unfortunately, I drew elluvia here a bit too late. Oh, I should probably mention at this point, whenever you're going second, you must always keep in mind that Lane Crest can invoke itself, so just watch out that it doesn't log your board. For example, if this was something else, like maybe it's like countdown 2 or something, and then I had 3 lane crests and I wouldn't be able to play Aether anymore. So if you're planning to play Aether, just make sure you save enough board space. And of course, if you're going for elluvia, you don't need as much board space. Yeah, that's it. Just for, I guess it's worth mentioning, if it didn't hit the Guardian Golem there, I would have probably used like Muse Gorman or something to clear the, or maybe Kira to clear the Guardian Golem, because leaving them 3 damage on the board is just a bit too much. So here we have to play elluvia, unfortunately, because we only run 1 copy, so there won't be any more in the deck for Aether to summon. You can consider running an extra copy of elluvia if you want. I just don't really know what I would take out for it, so that's why I only ran 2 copies. Now, let's just play Lu here. Trading Lu here keeps my elluvia healthy, which is probably more efficient against Golem Lord. So they're not playing Golem Lord here. They're just drawing cards. I have actually no idea what they are running. It looks like they're just playing some regular dirt boost deck with a bunch of like cheap spells from Portal. I guess it's like dirt boost, but with the cheap Portal spells, just to help them reach, give them survivability and help them reach the thing earlier. It's a bit weird. So here we can go ahead and Pawn Maker them. Unfortunately, we don't have the commandments here, so that's why we're going for this, just to make a big ass board for them to answer. And of course we trade the low health knights, because those are the ones that are the least susceptible to, most susceptible to Golem Lord, and then we just heal. This one buff will immediately put these out of range of Golem Lord without external health, so yeah, that was the goal. Unfortunately for me, they managed to snipe this one with the Maltina, so their Golem Lord gets to clear basically everything but the Pawn Maker. They're out of EO points though, so they can't actually answer the Pawn Maker, so that's good for us. Unfortunately no Jan here, so we have to prepare for Jan next turn, which is why if you look at this, we're at like 4 evils, so well, we were at 3 at the start of the turn, which is why I'm playing the 2 Muse commands to reach the appropriate evil count, so next time I can play 2 Aethers to summon up the 2 Jans, and hopefully that can close out the game for me. Unfortunately they have a damage shield here, so this 13 damage Pawn Maker doesn't do actually anything. And then they put a Sweet Defender Golem, so we boost our board here basically. So here comes the double Jan combo, of course. We haven't drawn a single Jan there in my deck. Here the question is between Verdelia and Kira. If you play Verdelia, you can of course buff this board. The issue with that is that I'm worried that I won't have anything to do next turn, so I want to play Kira to secure my Aether before something bad happens. So yeah, so I played Kira here. I feel like Verdelia might have actually been better. I could just play Kira next turn anyway, right? And then just be conservative, make sure I have enough cards in hand to activate another Jan next turn, which is why I don't like fuse anything with Verdelia. Remember that if you run out of Jans, you are like basically screwed, so you should try to freeze the card as much as possible. And then here for some reason they went for this route, which I guess lets all their golems survive. Unfortunately for them though, I do have another Jan incoming, so yeah, I can play Jan here. And then I'll just use the Verdelia for the extra stats. It's very unnecessary, but I mean, might as well, right? And then go ahead and give the Aether Rush, and then trade the Aether off, and then play the Pawn Maker to finish off the Jan. You can also evolve Verdelia here for extra damage, but of course it's not really necessary. So yeah, that's this game for. Let's move on to the next one. So for this game we're going against Blood and Haven, and we are playing the duelist version of the deck this time. As you can see here, there's the duelist. Mulligan's the same thing, just keep Lane Crest, keep Verdelia, and the usual stuff, whatever I said earlier. We are going first here, which makes the Aether that we draw here very, very nice. We definitely want to be using Aether when we're going first over playing elluvia normally. And unfortunately we draw elluvia there, so that Dream is dead. I feel like have I drawn elluvia every game so far? It's ridiculous. I have one copy of her in the deck. So nothing to do early game here, so we're just gonna pass. They're probably gonna play the elluvia next turn, so I don't want to let the Flautist live here, so I'm gonna use the Muse Gorman to clear it. So we can probably tell this is, we could probably tell the moment they play Kira, right? This is going to be the Heal Haven with the Wrath package to self-ping and heal a lot of health, and then buff a bunch of shit. So there's the elluvia for them. Unfortunately, we do have Lu, and we do have the Lane Crest here set out already, so that we will be able to buff the elluvia. So we can just play Lu here and then just trade here and trade the Kira, and then we can just pass and let Lu finish the elluvia off. Our bot's pretty decent right now. Hopefully they don't go too insane with style. There's the Raging Hunter and there's the Steamrolling Tank, which is what we were afraid of seeing, because that thing is a lot of stats. The amount of buffing it does is kind of ridiculous. So there's a Harmonic Wolf. And then there is the Howling Scream, which unfortunately does clear my elluvia, so they don't have to trade. I play like commandments here just to because I need to save cards in my hand for Jan next turn. I played Verdelia here. I don't think there was any reason to. I probably should have just saved the Verdelia, and then Muse Gorman here just to hopefully get the commander out of the way here. We're not in the position to be saving the ambush right now, so we're just gonna trade. We'll leave them one body on the board with the Harmonic Wolf, but there's the Rouge and Verte, which heal them a lot. Unfortunately, both of their followers are at 6 health, which means that Jan doesn't quite clear them. So I do have to spend my whole hand here, so hopefully the Fountain Tranquility gives me some followers next turn to activate Jan properly. I prioritize trading here just to keep myself healthy, because I don't want to die to like a surprise Garrett Death lethal. Although I'm probably dead to Garrett Death anyway, just because they can buff Garrett Death, which is kind of scary. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they have a way to activate Garrett Death this turn, so they're opting instead to make a big board. It doesn't look like they drew the Steamrolling Tank either, which is great for us. But that's a Steamrolling Tank now, so they have a very big board. Fortunately for me, they didn't manage to clear the agent of the commandments here. So we're gonna use our Aether, and then we need to play 2 followers. So just where a Dashing Duelist comes in and shines, because you see this AoE puts all their wards within Jan's range, and again you evolve him and then trade him, and then play another Aether to activate both. Well, actually it activates one Jan. I didn't know this, but I only activated one Jan. But then the other Jan can just be evolved by attacking. And then we get rid of the Aether and then play this to heal and buff it so for lethal, and that's the end of this game. So our last game for today, we are going against Blood Forest, and we are going second. This is probably evil Blood Forest. Mulligan's same as usual. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to find our early game cards. We're pretty okay with drawing elluvia here over Aether if that happens. So that's the Lane Crest, which we can use to hopefully not draw elluvia. That's not elluvia, that's great. They played the Lian Alfie there, it's pretty scary. I need to try and clear this, so I went for Orchid here. Hopefully to snipe the the Alien Alfie, which we unfortunately do, which is big deal for us, probably because it denies them one auto evolve as well. And this time we have no elluvia, so you could choose to play Angel of Commandments and evolve it here, but I want to clear the do blame because they haven't played the whatever they added there, probably Leo Parion, right? They haven't played Leo Parion yet, so let them keep the do blame and let them evolve the do blame and then play the Leo Parion for free evo, which is not what we want to do. So here they have the Signa and the Verdant Lieutenant and then the Sylph. So unfortunately we didn't draw oh we did, oh my god, wait. We drew elluvia every game, okay. I swear it doesn't happen every game. It's not supposed to. Yeah, there's the elluvia and then of course we have the Lu in hand. So we can go ahead and clear the Sylph with that. See, they are just doing their evils now. They have another Signa and another Lieutenant, so their hand is very healthy. I'm drawing a lot of cards from them. And here comes the do blame. So they have what, 2 Leo parents in hand right now. I guess the do blame is just taking 7 evils, that's a good thing. Seeing that goes to hit my face. So here we go for the regular old agents combo. Worth noting, Evil Blood does run bloody sessions sometimes, so they can probably might be able to clear it, but then hopefully they have to spend their entire turn clearing it and not doing anything else. Notably, the agents are both above 5 health, so the only thing that clears the 6 health agent is they evolve Leon and Alfie and then they bloody session it. Alternatively, of course, if they have the 3rd Signa, which I mean, I guess they don't, but they do have the bloody session, so they managed to clear one of my agents. And then here's the Alice to hit my face. Goodell. Unfortunately, the Leon and Alfie here makes John a very poor choice to play, so I'm just gonna save John for next turn instead. If we look at our evils, we're already at 5, so we can go for some Aether play next turn. So here I'm just trying to make a big fat board, just clear that thing, and then hopefully these wards will. I do hit the Alice twice here with the Muse command, but I mean it's as long as the first one hit the Muse Alice here, it would have been a clear anyway. So I put some wards in the way to hopefully help me survive and hopefully finish the game next turn, which is the goal. So here's their 3rd Signa. And they're running Olivia and Sylvia, which is fine. It means I can clear my agent, unfortunately. So here's the Olivia and Sylvia AoE for 3 and then Signa AoE for another 3, which will kill my agent. And I just played the Aria there for some reason, I'm not sure why. And I just take a bunch of damage here, but I mean... So my theory here is that they can't actually clear a double John board because a lot of their board clears rely on AoE damage, not like actual clear. So I went for Aether here just to fill up the board, just to maximize the chance that something sticks on board, which I can use to finish the game next turn. Verdelia here to heal. It might have been worth considering saving the Verdelia to activate John next turn, but hopefully that's not. I think for me, I'd rather just get the stats higher to make it harder for them to answer this board. Here they pull out the Medusa for some reason. I don't really know why it's here for. There's the Sylph, so they're unable to clear this board, so I believe they just concede, yeah. So that's it for this game. So yeah, that's it for this games for this deck. I hope you enjoyed it. It's actually pretty strong, like surprisingly. It does better than I expected it to. I mean, I guess it's mostly just heal havens, and that's why it's strong, right? So yeah, if you're interested in trying out the deck, feel free to try it out yourself. I climbed a decent bit with this deck as well, so I think it's pretty good. So yeah, that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.